Well, today and on this video, I'm gonna tell you the truth no matter what. Because hey, I always tell people I would rather slap you with the truth rather than comfort you with a lie. Let's get into the business. Today, I'm actually sharing with you 5 signs you actually have what we call the poverty mindset. All right, and by the way, guess what? This video I'm sharing with you for free ain't gonna charge you nothing. The only thing I want you from you as a favor and a return is to like this video right now before I even say anything. By the way, it doesn't cost you. Just hit that. Don't ignore. I can see. Don't wait. Don't ignore. Hit that like button and also subscribe down below there. Hit that small button written subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Guess what happens actually? You get to be notified whenever I upload a new good video. Right? So let's get to the point. And by the way, if you're first time watching, my name is Joseph. I talk about anything about machingly, about dough, about money. All right? Let's get to the business. Now, the point number one actually is a sign that you have a poverty mindset. Guess what it is? You are jealousy. Yeah, you are jealousy. Jealousy, you're jealousy. Guess what? You actually feel very bad and jealous when people achieve or acquire, however you want to frame it. You usually feel like, hey, guess what? Now people are buying cars like the cars are running out. I don't know what will happen next. You see, whenever people acquire or achieve things, you feel like the things are getting out there. You feel like we are living in sort of a world whereby it's a mutual exclusive. You know what I mean by mutual exclusive is this. Let's say, for example, I buy a piece of land and you're feeling so much jealousy. You feel like the land is actually over. I've exhausted all the existence of the lands, and you feel like, you see now, I will never get anything. No. You're not supposed to do that. Actually, you're supposed to feel good. Why? Because those people who are in need of that thing are getting lesser and lesser, and your turn is coming. So do not operate with jealousy. And by the way, guess what they say? Jealousy is the last class that you attend before you become a full witch. That's what we say in Africa. All right. So if you actually have jealousy, whenever somebody tells you, hey, guess what? I just bought a new TV, you're like, okay, fine. By the way, personally, I don't even like a smart TV. I just like an analog one. When somebody says, "Hey, I bought myself a piece of land in Kamulu," I think even Kamulu, those guys gonna be, those lands, those houses gonna be brought down just like the other one. You just every time somebody tells you like you're like, by the way, guess what? I just bought myself a certain car, and you're like, I don't like that car. By the way, you know why? You operate on jealousy. You feel bad. Instead of deep inside of you be like, wow, that's amazing. Now I have a friend who has a car. That's how I usually feel, by the way, all the time. For example, if a friend approaches and me tell me, hey, guess what? I just bought a land. I feel like, yeah, amazing. You know why? Next time I want to buy a land, I know who to ask because I have a friend who bought that thing. Say, whenever somebody, let's say, buy something, I'll be like, yes, next. Maybe let's say my friend, imports things from China in terms of selling. I know, fine, amazing. Now I have somebody whom I can ask about importing things from China. Now I can be able to rely with that information and be able to invest. Feel good, appreciate. See, whenever you attract that, whenever you vibrate that sort of a positive attitude, usually those positive vibrations, and you can get blessed. That's it. That's it, guys. It doesn't have any other thing. So get off that jealousy of yours deep inside of you. Let's get to the next one now. The next one is, this one is quite popular, okay? Blaming everybody. You blame everyone, blaming everything, everything and everybody for anything. Hey, guess what? I do not have a job because of the government. I don't know what we can even do. I think even my president is doing nothing for the sake of my life. They don't even care about us. No, they have not been caring about you. Who told you that they should be caring about you? Those are guys who are chasing their own dreams. And then you're like, okay, fine, it's because I was born out of poverty. It's because I was even born in African continent. I think this is a casteless sort of a continent. I shouldn't be here. And I always ask myself, and I want you to ask yourself, especially my fellow Africans, I want you to ask this question. By the way, you may forget everything I will say in this video, but I want to ask you this question. These wonderful people of ours from the Western world, the so-called developed world, where did they go for them to build their nations? Because in Africa, we tend to believe that we ought to go there to benchmark. Where were they benchmarking? When they were inventing trams, streetcars, bullet trains, where did they go to benchmark? They never went to Mars. They were critically thinking. See, necessity is the mother of invention. But if you go and take anything and truncate in your life, it ain't gonna work. That's for reality. So the point is this: don't blame where you come from. Don't blame where you are born from. Don't blame your government. Don't blame nothing. Well, I admit there's some cases where we can say, hey, government hasn't done something. It is true. But the point is this: substantively, over 85% of your success in life has nothing to do with the government. That's true. Yeah, I know you guys will be like, no, why are you arguing like that? You're arguing because you're fortunate. No. There's a reality. If you can check my older videos, you can see the kind of a job I was doing, but I had to push myself up to where I am. You keep on pressing, never give up. Add value to yourself, you keep on pushing. That's a reality. I usually post videos each and every day. Sometimes I don't even feel, not even sometimes, close over the time I feel like I don't want to do, but I keep on doing it. You keep on doing it because you have to do them. That's a reality. That's how about life is, okay? So blaming everybody, you have a poverty mindset and you're supposed to get it off yourself, because otherwise if you continue with that character, it's gonna be very, very, very rough on yourself. I repeat, be very careful. Don't blame everybody and anything out there. Number three, you usually have this kind of thing called playing victim each and every time. I've ever seen some people who play victim, playing victim. And have you ever heard of something called the inferiority complex? And I usually say this with my beautiful and wonderful Africans and Black Americans and whoever. Somebody who looks like me, okay? Or close like me, so to speak. And I'm not a racist person, I'm just speaking out there. So you find they usually have this kind of a limitation like, hey, the world is against us, people hate us, all those kind of things. You're not supposed to view it that way. I believe if we can work on ourselves, I believe if we can be more productive in this world, I believe if we can be sitting down the benches where 40 years from today a decision are being made, we can be able to do something great. And I usually wonder, when these great nations usually sit down, okay, and usually talk about 40 years from today, how they want to do with the climate change and what have you, you find most of the people don't, even Africans, don't even, some of them sometimes even withdraw from those participation and all those kind of things. Like when the decisions where people are deciding where the world should head in the next 60 or 100 years, people are talking about the next general elections. It feels bad, The thing is this: do not play victim, even at that individual level. I was actually going the national level and then world level. So even at that individual level, you're not supposed to play victim. Never ever allow yourself to play victim. Always understand this. Hey, guess what? Well, I know this must have been unfortunate to me, but it's okay. As long as I do this, I can actually do the other thing. But if you sit from this bench of like, hey, guess what? At all the time, we in our community, we are actually unfavored. It's not even a good environment for us to do this and all those kind of things. The moment you actually talk those kind of things, those are the things that you actually build deep inside yourself. And you're telling your subconscious, it's unfortunate for you, you cannot make it unless miracle happens and all those kind of things. You are supposed not to tell yourself those kind of things. Don't play victim. Always feel that you're a winner and also soldier on in this life. I know that may sound more of a motivation, but it is not. If you actually understand what I'm trying to mean, you understand it's not really a motivation. It's actually a real thing that you can be able to incorporate in your life and make a very great difference as far as your life is concerned, as far as the finance is concerned. So stop playing victim and also tell yourself, I can do it, I'm great, I can achieve it. If I always say this, if it has ever been achieved before, why not me? I can achieve it and do more greater than that, right? That's a reality, and that's how exactly you can do yourself the thing. By the way, you see, there was a time I interacted with a guy. I didn't know that we schooled the same primary school, and by the way, I schooled from a very humble, way down there primary school. And whenever I told that guy, you see, that's where I schooled, they were like, no. The way you talk, the way you actually do your things, the way you understand this to do your finance, you don't even sound like you come from that place. And I was like, just play, just be there, right? Just be there. It doesn't mean that because you come from there, it means now by default you ought to go to this direction. I remember back when we were in universities, again, I didn't go to like the top-notch university in my country, and we used to kind of have this mentality that guy from the top-notch university, it's like being in America and people are going to Harvard and you're coming from MIT and someone is coming from like a sort of down university out there. You're telling, hey, those guys from the Harvard usually are like, no, you can beat anybody along the line and you can actually achieve more greater things that you ever thought. Now, number 4, it's actually doing what we call focusing on the problems. This is the much bad thing to do actually. So focusing on the problem at all the time, okay? Now the problem is this for focusing on your problem. Focusing on your problem is that everything that you see out there, you always say, hey, I cannot be able to make it because of this. Hey, these are the problems. I'm limited to doing this because, hey, guess what? For example, if I ask you, hey, can you be able to start a chemist business or maybe a pharmacy business? You say, no, I cannot do that. I never acquired the skills. I tell you, hey, can you do the farming in terms of the dairy farming? No, I cannot do that because I have nothing to do with dairy farming. I've never understood. Okay, can you get into the construction? No, I don't even have the skills. I didn't even went to university. Okay, fine. Can you be able to go ahead and make videos? I don't even have the Come on, why are you focusing on the things that you cannot be able to do? You're focusing on the limitations, and the problems. There is no problem with focusing on the problems, but with the idea of finding solution over them. I repeat, there is nothing wrong with focusing the problems on problems if only you are actually looking for the solutions over the problems. Remember one thing, if you want to make more money, obviously solve more problems to people. And if you can be able to do that, solve as much problem as you can, then you're going to make more money out there. But all the problem with this is focusing on the problems on the basis to justify your situation. I've ever met those kind of a guy. I remember, I'll never cease to give these examples, and I want you to take it home. There was a time I was interacting with a friend of mine after getting out of job, and I told him, hey, guess what? I just bought myself a certain thing. And you know what he told me? You managed to buy that thing because hey, guess what? You got no kids. I got kid. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Are you telling me I bought that thing because I do not have a kid, and you did not buy that thing because you have a kid? Okay, fine. Let's say it's true. Okay. Now the question is this: do you believe there's somebody else out there has more kids than you, and they have more than me and you? And the guy shut up. Because why? Failures blame everything. Failures have that thing to justify their problems. They actually focus everything they see. Hey, you see now, if you get a problem, you cannot even buy a piece of land. Hey, you see, if you get problems now, the school fees and maintenance, you cannot do. Hey, guess what? You see, if you do this, hey, if you marry as far as they have everything and anything they justify. Hey, guess what? As far as you're a Kenya, you cannot make it. As far as you come from the continent of Africa, unless you get out of. The moment you have that mentality, you're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. And guess what? That is a poverty mindset. It's also called a scarcity mindset. You're supposed to eradicate it as fast as you can. Get it off your head as fast as you can, so that at least you can be able to progress and do something as far as your life is concerned. I have seen a lot of people actually limiting their progress in terms of this because of focusing on the problems. You ask somebody, they tell you, hey, guess what? I'm not well qualified, but first of all, you're supposed to say, I'm great, you can do it, it has never been done before, I can do it greater and more than that as you progress to the next level. And one thing I've come to realize when it comes to making money, it starts with confidence, starts with the language, and have the charisma and be able to talk to people, gather the confidence, and you can be able to do it. All right, let's go to the point number 5, or the last one. Number 5 is actually proving to people that you own something or you are rich. Proving to people that you are rich, that you reach, that you reach, or you're making it, or whichever the case. Okay, you're parading everything on social media. The moment you buy yourself a pressure cooker, we have to know that you're buying a pressure cooker. The moment you migrate from, let's say, a 20,000 house rent to a 40,000, you have to inform us. Every time you buy yourself a car, you have to inform us, and all those kind of things. And the reason as to why you're informing us, not to motivate us. You see, if you're parading cars to motivate us, tell us, you know what, guys, I came from this background and now here I am. You can also do it, and you're doing it in a humble way. There's no problem with that. But the problem is this: just doing it and showing people, hey, you jacks, guess what? I'm doing it better than you. I'm actually progressing, and all those kind of. No, you're not supposed to do that. So the point is, at all the time, focus on, or rather, do not struggle, proving to people that you're actually successful. Guess what? Success has its own, sort of, how can I call it? It has its own noises. It will actually be out there and gonna be actually talking on your behalf. So don't struggle telling people, I am successful, I am doing it better, because in the process of you doing exactly that, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, because you will end up buying things that you do not want to prove the people that you do not even know or even love, if you do know them. All right. So the point is this: if you see somebody who is trying the best they can to prove to anyone and everyone that they're actually doing good, I remember seeing these people, they actually struggle and do everything that they can to prove to you their life is better and everything is running as you guys are looking for out there. So these are people who suffer from this kind of a thing. So just work in silence. The success will actually make noises on your behalf. That is exactly how we do the thing. Anyway, by the way, guess what, guys? Anyway, of this matter, at all the time, stay put, do something that is great, and actually incorporate the things that I've shared with you. And that is exactly how we make a difference in our lives. For now, see you in the next one. But don't forget, my number is always on the description of this specific video. You can pick it up. Let's talk about business. Let's invest. I usually offer those services at a cup of coffee's price. And don't forget, I got my booklets ready about investments on different areas and also business plans. A copy goes for only 280 Kenyan shillings. And if it's your first time watching me, I am Joseph, talk about money and everything related to exactly that. So see you in the next one, and goodbye.